have your attention, please? The November 21st meeting of the CDA, please come to order. We'll take roll call, please.
Wayne Clark.
Yes.
Present. Karen Gale.
Here.
Michael Suter.
Here.
Alderman Haas.
Here.
We do not have Alderman Weigel or Don Niemer. They are excused. Jerry Motter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the October 10th meeting. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? If not, everybody in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes stand approved. First item on the agenda, resolution to approve professional service contract with McGuire Associates LLC for outsourcing house quality inspection HQS as part of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program. Patrick.
Mr. Chairman, I'm turning it right over to Steve Scher and Danielle from our housing team.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Scher. This is Daniel Galida.
Good evening.
We're here to present at the last CDA meeting. We had made some administrative plan updates, and one of those was the option to seek a professionally outsource a consultant to do our housing inspections. I'm going to turn it over to Danielle Galida, and she'll.
Thank you. Here. All right. Over minutes. All right. Thank you so much, Steve. We had 2 RFP responses that we received for the actual outsourcing of the inspections. One was from Homesite, which was a local business inspection business, locally operated here in the city. It's operated by a single inspector. The proposal submitted was kind of vague in their scope of work of what they were explaining of what they could do to work with the City of West Dallas CDA Housing Authority, and the cost per inspection was 48% higher than the competition of who we're actually looking at, which is McCright and Associates, which theirs came to about $70 per inspection. But if you look at the McCright, you see that their inspections average about $37 per inspection. McCright and Associates is a national housing inspection for HQS and Inspire agency. The inspections are conducted by a team of inspectors versus one person team, which they're able to meet the demands of the PHA, and they also provide an added service of rent reasonableness, which is something that we are working with to make sure that we are making sure that we apply that rent reasonableness to our program. Then the next slide, it just gives you a breakdown of what the actual, next slide please, Steve. Thank you. McCright Housing Data Inspections Data Pricing. So this kind of just gives you an overview, and if Steve, if you want to chime in.
So on the left-hand column, the overall quantity of inspections, overstated this a bit, but we figured about close to 800, between 700 and 800 inspections annually. And what that involves is the typical annual initial inspection or annual inspection, initial inspections, and then from there sometimes you have re-inspections, emergency and quality assurance inspections. So those are repeat visits to that household that has that housing voucher, just to ensure that quality standards are being maintained. If they're not, identifying what the problems are and ensuring that the landlord follows up and gets those things solved so that we continue our housing assistance. So, there's a low and a high assumption based on in each case a total of almost 800 inspections annually. You can see the pass rate and the fail rate, and then just building in some of that. These are just assumptions. We can't be exactly sure what this is going to be, but we feel it's going to fall somewhere between $30,000 to $32,000. The resolution that's attached to this agenda item says not to exceed $35,000. So we're padding it a little bit due to the variable nature of inspections and sort of the instances where you need to go back and re-inspect something, just to be sure. So if there's any questions, I guess let me know.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Yeah, this seems like a good idea, prudent use of our tax dollars. That's great. My question is, what's going to happen to the city employees that used to do this? Do they have other duties? What are those other duties? Are we down employees? What's going on?
No, we're at a staffing level now that we have one more person on staff that we've hired, and However, HUD is pushing us to get more vouchers out the door and increase our success rate. So inspections takes up a lot of labor time, a lot of staff time in the field, making those visits not only in West Dallas, but some of them in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County area. And that just adds a lot of miles and time, especially when somebody doesn't show up for their appointment and you have to go back and do it again. I feel like we could better utilize staff time in the office here, getting vouchers out the door, getting tenants in alignment with the housing that's out there. Inspections are a very key component to our process, but I think in this case we'd like to explore the idea and pursue the idea of outsourcing this as a means to increase our success rate, getting vouchers into people that need them, into the hands that need them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I move approval.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Go to item number 3, discussion on the historic rehabilitation of Longfellow School located at 2211 South 60th Street. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, our team has been in partnership working with the West Dallas West Milwaukee School District on the potential sale of Longfellow School. One of the things that we also have been doing, we have an historic preservation grant that is being utilized to help write the eligibility to be able to list this property. And once it's listed, then you can utilize historical tax credits. So we're using that grant on this property and 2 other properties, if I remember right. We have a $14,000 grant from the state to do some get properties listed for historical eligibility and preservation. So if you kind of looked at what the school district was trying to achieve with the RFP, the Longfellow School site is around 2.45 acres. The idea was to improve the tax base, preserve the historic integrity of the property, and then also maintain a small area for small children play area, and then try to get multifamily development within the property. We're going to go over a lot of the details of the 2 RFP responses in closed session, and some of the things that we foresee that future discussions will be part of. Just off the record, both development proposals were to create affordable housing, just for open discussions, but I want to talk about the financials of those projects in closed session.
All right, thank you. And we'll go to item number 4, discussion regards to TIF number 7, Summit Place.
So TIF number 7 is coming up upon a decision point. There is a positive fund balance within the TIF of $5 million. Come April of next year, the TIF would either need to be closed, or we need to have plans in place to expend the funds, etc., within the development or the TIF area. What I wanted to show the CDA tonight are some of those concepts. One, just off the record, is like this is the power substation. You can't see it from when you go down Washington Street. It's back behind the parking structure that's located there for Summit Place. But if you look at that and that tree line, the parcel goes back some distance. There could be around 5 to 6 acres of land for development. And the concept here is if we have a fund balance, can we somehow incentivize the property owner to get this ready for development? And with the Washington Street extension coming through, this could be a potential site for additional tax base in our city. The We Energies is removing the power substation, but there are some footings and grading that has to take place to get the site ready for development. So that's just one of the ideas. Do we have all the other ones in closed session, right? Yeah. That's all we have on that one, Mr. Chairman.
All right, and then we'll go to item number 5, discussion regarding TIF number 15 and Markers Road development.
Just for the CDA's knowledge, the 4th parcel, which is located along Mitchell Street in the south part of the Sona site. So the Sona apartments are here, Higgins is here, and then the Makers Road development, our farmers market's off to the side. So there's a small parcel located on the south end of the site along Mitchell. This lot 4 is proposed to have 51 units, a $15 million project roughly. one of the things that we wanted to bring up is that this has an REE or REA agreement on it. You might recall the CDA approved a reciprocal easement agreement. And that was to help get all the sites, each site was assigned part of the grading, part of the stormwater, part of all the infrastructure costs. That bill, we have received that bill. It's around $395,000. And was already in the TIF and fully expected. The reason I bring that to your attention is that we're kind of holding off on that payment until we get this property closed. We have the development agreement signed, but we have not closed on the land, on the sale. So the buildings that are being built on CDA-owned land. We're getting close. One of the things has been the transfer of land to Higgins, which is located just to the east of the site. I think we're reaching the point where we have agreement now. All the easements seem to be off that parcel, and we're one of the big things is this reciprocal easement agreement also went over the land in this area, and they've asked for a indemnification for all those terms, like any future stormwater costs, any of those costs. And we said, yes, those aren't part of that project. But this has to be done in conjunction with Mandel and that development. So that is coming together.
Okay, then we'll go to item number
Any
6.
questions?
I didn't believe so. They're going to give them all to you later.
Okay.
We'll go to item number 6, discussion in regards to 6771 West National Avenue. Patrick?
I'm going to have Sean give an update on this project.
If you recall, this is the CDA-owned former Kearney Trekker building. We have an agreement with a developer to seek tenancy for it. They had a tenant on board. They had a signed letter of intent with the tenant that would occupy the space after the construction was complete in approximately 2 years. When they got close to the financing stage of that, the tenant asked to alter the terms of that were agreed upon in the letter of intent to the point where the developer couldn't make it go. It didn't make sense. So the developer, Baum Revision, is now entertaining another event space user. They were out there last Wednesday touring the building. And then they have another one that they're also looking at. One is a bigger event space user in the Milwaukee area, and then there's another one out of the Chicago area they're looking at. And they've also just today submitted an option that would allow for the construction to start without a tenant. So it would be kind of a backdrop agreement, a master lease. We can go over those details in closed session, but just wanted to bring that update forward in open session.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, we'll go to the next item. Item number 7, discussion in regards to the 6400 block of West Greenfield Avenue. Patrick?
You might recall this is, Mr. Chairman, this is the block in which the CDA owns the Crawdaddy site and the former Spot, as well as the back parking lot general area. We have an LOI with a developer for developing the site with 8 townhomes and 11 apartments. And we've outlined, I'm not expecting to go through all these right now, but the basic general development terms have been shared with the developer, in which we would share in cost savings. We would get into if they're successful, then we want to share in the upside. The one nuance here is that we're, at this point, the CDA is just representing the land that we own. The land that is this parking lot in this public space is kind of worded into this development agreement, and we'll have to go to the Common Council at a future point because that is owned by the city. And if we're going to exchange this land for land over here for the public space, that's a process that has to occur here in the future. We'd like to get a little further in the development agreement. I just wanted you to aware that that's one component is what we're discussing, but we also have to take the other land transfer and the parking lot sale to the Common Council for their approval on this matter. So we are getting the terms laid out. They have been talking to banks. This project is, we're hearing good things on the progress on that project. So.
All right, then we'll go to item number 8, consideration relative report on redevelopment initiative. Patrick?
I don't have anything to report. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions from the
Anything.
board? No?
Just on National Avenue H, 6325 West National Avenue, you might recall it's the former Castec property. The owner of that property has submitted plans to move forward with a concept at that site, so we're pretty excited. You might recall we provided some assistance to help fix that property's roof, and then they went to the state to get a SAG grant to help with the environmental issues on that property. And now the plans are going forward for their entertainment venue that they're are looking at. It's a bar and entertainment concept. It's going to be new to the whole metro area, the concept that we've seen. So,
I've been working on that for quite a while. I really like that.
well, they were waiting for the street to be completed. So
Great.
their architect has. Is it on December?
Yes.
Okay, December's plan commission, 14th. So.
Okay. Other questions? All right, then we'll make a,
Closed session.
have a motion to go into open session, please?
Close.
Closed session, excuse me. Okay. For agenda items 3 to 7, the committee can convene in closed session pertinent to the provisions of section 19.85/1/C of the state statutes for the purpose of delivering, investing public funds whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. This committee can convene in open sessions after consideration of the closed session to consider the balance of the agenda. Could you take roll call, please, Patrick?
Wayne Clark,
Yes.
Karen Gale,
Yes.
Jerry Motter,
Yes.
Mike Suter,
Yes.
Alderman Haas.
Aye.
All in favor?
All in favor? We are now in closed session.